Some people are genuinely nice because of how they were raised. Stop thinking you're using them. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into a topic that I think is incredibly important and often misunderstood in our daily interactions, the true nature of kindness. We've all heard the saying, "No good deed goes unpunished." Or perhaps you've been in a situation where someone's generosity felt almost suspicious. In a world that often rewards cynicism and self-interest, it's easy to fall into the trap of believing that everyone has an ulterior motive. But what if I told you that a significant number of genuinely good people exist, and their kindness isn't a strategy, but a fundamental part of who they are, shaped by their upbringing? The cynicism trap. Why we doubt true kindness. Let's be honest, it's easy to become cynical. We've all had experiences where someone seemed nice only to reveal their true colors later. Maybe it was a friend who only called when they needed a favor, a colleague who buttered you up for a promotion, or even a public figure whose philanthropic efforts seemed more like a PR stunt. These experiences, unfortunately, train our brains to be wary. We start looking for the catch, the hidden agenda, the price tag attached to every act of generosity. This skepticism is often a defense mechanism. It's a way to protect ourselves from being hurt or taken advantage of, and in some cases, it's a valid and necessary caution. But the problem arises when this caution evolves into an automatic assumption that all kindness is transactional. When we start viewing every genuinely kind gesture through the lens of suspicion, we do a disservice not only to the people extending that kindness, but also to ourselves. We miss out on the beauty of authentic human connection and the joy that comes from simply giving and receiving without expectation. The foundation of goodness, how upbringing shapes kindness. So let's unpack the core idea. Some people are genuinely nice because of how they were raised. This isn't just a feel-good statement. It's rooted in developmental psychology and real-world observations. Our early experiences, particularly within our families and immediate communities, are incredibly formative. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome to Zetagon Animations, and if you're already part of the family, thank you for coming back. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss what's next. Think about it. From the moment we're born, we're sponges absorbing the behaviors, values, and attitudes of those around us. If a child grows up in an environment where empathy is modeled consistently, where parents help neighbors, volunteer their time, or simply listen attentively to others' problems, that child learns that these behaviors are normal and valuable. If they are taught the importance of sharing, of being considerate of others' feelings, and of offering help without being asked, these become ingrained habits. Consider the role of positive reinforcement. When a child exhibits kind behavior and is praised for it, they learn that kindness is desirable and brings positive outcomes. Conversely, if a child is shamed for selfishness or encouraged to consider the impact of their actions on others, they internalize those lessons. This isn't about creating perfect children, but about nurturing a natural inclination towards pro-social behavior. Moreover, a stable and loving upbringing often fosters security and confidence. When individuals feel secure in themselves and their place in the world, they are less likely to operate from a place of scarcity or fear. They don't feel the need to get one over on others because their sense of self-worth isn't dependent on manipulating situations or exploiting relationships. Their cup is already full, so to speak, and they can genuinely afford to share. Beyond reciprocity, the joy of giving. One of the biggest hurdles to accepting genuine kindness is our ingrained understanding of reciprocity. We're taught from a young age about quid pro quo. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. And while reciprocity is a fundamental aspect of many healthy relationships, it's not the only driver of human interaction. For genuinely kind people, the act of giving itself is often the reward. There's a profound satisfaction that comes from alleviating someone's burden, bringing a smile to their face, or simply knowing you've made a positive difference. This isn't about earning social credit or expecting something in return. It's about the intrinsic joy derived from contributing to the well-being of others. Think about the feeling you get when you help an elderly person carry their groceries, or when you give a sincere compliment to a stranger. That warm feeling in your chest isn't because you're expecting them to return the favor. It's because you've tapped into a fundamental human need to connect and contribute positively to the world. For those raised with a strong foundation of empathy and generosity, this feeling is not an occasional occurrence, but a regular part of their emotional landscape. Recognizing authentic kindness, signs to look for. So, how can you differentiate between someone who's genuinely kind and someone who has an agenda? It's not always easy, but there are some telltale signs. Consistency. Genuinely kind people tend to be consistently kind, not just when it benefits them. Their generosity isn't sporadic. It's a character trait that shines through in various situations, whether big or small. No strings attached. They don't make you feel obligated. When they offer help, they don't subtly remind you of it later, nor do they hint at what they expect in return. Their gift or gesture is truly that, a gift. They listen, more than they talk. Truly kind individuals often exhibit deep empathy. They're good listeners, genuinely interested in understanding your perspective and feelings, rather than just waiting for their turn to speak or to interject with their own needs. They celebrate your successes. They don't feel threatened by your achievements. Instead, they genuinely celebrate your wins and offer support during your struggles. Their kindness extends to your entire well-being, not just when you're in a position to help them. They're kind to everyone, not just you. Observe how they interact with others. Service staff, strangers, people they perceive as having no value to them. If their kindness is authentic, it will be extended broadly, not selectively. No scorekeeping. They don't keep a mental ledger of favors given and received. They don't hold past acts of kindness over your head. The harm in assuming malice, why we need to stop using them mentality. The second part of our statement is crucial. Stop thinking you're using them. This is where our cynicism can become truly damaging. When we assume that a kind person has an ulterior motive, we essentially project our own fears or past negative experiences onto them. What happens when we do this? We create distance. Our suspicion creates a barrier. We become guarded, reluctant to fully accept their help or even to reciprocate their kindness, not out of malice, but out of fear of being manipulated. This prevents the formation of genuine, trusting relationships. We undermine their goodness. By questioning their motives, we effectively tell them that their kindness isn't seen or appreciated for what it is. This can be incredibly disheartening for someone who genuinely wants to do good. It can make them question themselves or even retract their generosity in the future. We miss out on true connection. When we constantly look for the catch, we miss the opportunity for authentic human connection. We become isolated in our own skepticism, unable to experience the joy and support that come from truly reciprocal and trusting relationships. It reflects on us. Ultimately, our persistent suspicion says more about us than it does about the kind person. It suggests that we struggle with trust, or perhaps that we ourselves operate from a more transactional mindset. Cultivating a more open heart, a call to action. So what can we do? How can we shift our mindset from skepticism to a more open, appreciative stance? Practice gratitude. Start by actively noticing and appreciating acts of kindness, no matter how small. Acknowledge them verbally if appropriate, or even just internally. This trains your brain to look for the good. Challenge your assumptions. When someone is kind to you and your immediate thought is, what do they want? Pause. Ask yourself, is there any actual evidence for this, or am I projecting? Give them the benefit of the doubt. Reciprocate authentically. If someone is kind to you, consider how you can genuinely reciprocate, not out of obligation, but out of a desire to show appreciation and nurture the relationship. This might be a simple thank you, a kind word, or offering help when they need it. Be kind yourself. The more you practice kindness, the more you understand its true nature. When you give without expectation, you recognize that same purity in others. It's a virtuous cycle. Heal your own wounds. If your cynicism stems from past hurts, acknowledge those experiences. Work through them, perhaps with the help of a trusted friend or professional. Unresolved pain can make us overly guarded and prevent us from seeing the good in the world. Trust your gut, carefully. While it's important to be open, it's also wise to maintain a healthy level of discernment. This isn't about paranoia, but about recognizing genuine red flags if they appear. The key is to distinguish between healthy caution and automatic, unfounded suspicion. The power of believing in goodness. Believing in the inherent goodness of some people isn't naive, it's empowering. It opens us up to deeper, more meaningful connections. It allows us to build stronger communities based on trust and mutual support. When we extend trust to those who genuinely deserve it, we not only validate their kindness, but also encourage more of it in the world. Imagine a world where fewer people automatically assumed ill intent, where a kind gesture was simply that, a kind gesture. It would be a world with less stress, more genuine connection, and a greater sense of shared humanity. So the next time someone extends a hand, offers a compliment, or goes out of their way to help you, take a moment. Before your mind jumps to conclusions, consider the possibility that they are genuinely nice because of how they were raised. Consider that their kindness is a gift, freely given with no expectation of return. And in that moment, instead of wondering how you're being used, simply accept it, appreciate it, and perhaps even pay it forward. That's all for today, folks. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Have you experienced genuine, no-strings-attached kindness? Or have you found yourself struggling with cynicism? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next discussion. Until next time, stay kind and keep an open heart.